You know, you think you got the world by the balls. Even if you know you don't have the world figured out, you're like, yeah, but I'm an adult now. I can do what I want.
Right.
And you've watched enough movies, like, man, I'm like I'm George Young. I'm George Young. I can do what I want to do here. Like, Blow's a great movie. And you get, it's so easy to see how you'd get caught up in that kind of wave.
It's so embarrassing. Truly, I'm embarrassed when I think about how influenced I was by hip hop and by drug movies. You're not supposed to you're just supposed to enjoy the content. You're not supposed to emulate it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Why do you think you loved it so much, the power?
I loved the freedom that these guys portrayed. It was outlawed. It's the reason that even ordinary people who would never commit crimes are fascinated by outlaws and the underworld. It's because in a society that's so controlled by law and order and norms, social norms, there's a guy that's just giving everybody the middle finger, and he's getting away with it. Yeah. Like, so I have that in me, and then compounded with, you know, the influence of the 90s, right? Because I'm a white guy from the 90s, and everybody, right, Tupac is on your wall. It was really guys, it was Bay Area guys, E40. I told E40 that when I was on the phone with them. I was like, hey, man, I'm a huge fan.
You were a big influence.
I'm like, dude, I was like, hey, E40, you raised me, dude. And I just want you to know you're one of the reasons that I went to prison. Thanks, bye. He laughed at that because he got it. Like, it was so glorified. And yeah, you're like, what can go wrong? I'll just get a record deal after I'm done, after I'm out of the game, you know?
Oh, you had bars too?
I didn't have bars, but I thought maybe I'll be a record label. How fucking stupid was I? Now, that only lasted for about 2 weeks, and then I was like, I better just invest in some real estate, you know?
Did you at least get a chain, like, ahead of time with the name of the label, so you had that?
Yeah, I think it was going to be 28 grams record label, you know? Because it was kind of cool. Yeah. It's kind of cool. It would have gone bust, I think. So I got out of that pretty quickly. Once the real money started coming, that's when I shaped up. I was like, oh, this is life-changing. Like, I can't fuck this up. And that kind of led me down, like, the journey of, like, okay, how do I become, like, a wealthy person, not a rich person? So it was actually a good lesson. Like,
wealthy versus rich. Can you explain that?
Buying assets, you know, that appreciate over time, essentially, right? Like, that's the, you know, to brush stroke it, that's what it is. Like, cash depreciates, right? Because we live in a fiat world, and the government prints more of it every day. So when you own that, when you hold that, it loses value. But when you buy things that appreciate over time and you can pass on, that's wealth. So now we have it with Bitcoin. I see this as 20 years later. I'm like, wow, I'm getting a second chance here. You know what I mean? But
can you explain that more?
Yeah, like, so
I own Bitcoin too. But
our generation missed the fiat currency bubble that really got going in the 80s, but it started in the early 70s when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. And so people like, I don't know, you're from Jersey. I can't imagine, you know, you grew up with two parents, but did you?
Yes, I did.
You did?
I did.
Wow.
Okay, great. I was a low blow, Johnny Mitchell.
I know it was.
We both grew up in Jersey, and we both had two parents growing up.
I assumed, but like a dock worker and a mailman, right?
No, my dad's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer as well. Okay,
it was good.
So people like, there is that other. You should have told me Bruce Springsteen's Jersey. I didn't know it was it.
I did not grow up.
Was it Tom Cruise or Bruce Springsteen's Jersey? Which one was it?
I grew up in West Deptford, like the best middle class town of all time. I'm biased.
Perfect. You know? So it was a little bit like me growing up in Portland. So our parents hit the fiat currency boom where all they had to do was just take money every week for their paychecks and put it into the stock market and just watch. Because all of the valuations of all of these companies with just the money printing, it blew up the whole economy. You know what I mean? But now it's out of gas. Like, we can't buy property in Manhattan. There is no more abandoned buildings in Newark, basically, right?
What's the Sopranos line? Buy land, AJ. God's not making any more of it.
Exactly. And just cunt. That's all. That's another thing. She was a hooah. 1, she was a hooah. 2, she hit me. He's like justifying where he beat this woman's brains in. 1, she was a hooah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was like his number one reason. You imagine him asking for leniency at sentencing.
She was a hooah.
She was a hooah. Oh, Ralph Cifaretto, dude.
Judge is like, yeah, I've been there.
yeah. Community service, time served. So there is no more. So we missed all that, right? So this is our Bitcoin is this generation's, 1981 buying a piece of a warehouse in Greenpoint or Williamsburg, Brooklyn, right? That's the Lord saying, God, you guys got, and I don't know what comes after that. I mean, we'll probably be, we'll be in like the metaverse, but that is our chance.
Little side point though here. I love your thoughts on this. Like I've always said this, like I've owned Bitcoin for 2025, so like 8 years.
Wow.
I've never sold any of it.
No, you shouldn't.
I've never sold a dime, even through those like downward spike. Like it doesn't even count for money. It's not even like a ton.
Yeah.
And I want to believe in it, and I love the concept of it because like it's anti-inflationary. It's literally like deflationary in a way. But the question is, I still can't explain it to my grandma. And the response, like as much as you or I might be a responsible person and know like, oh, I'm going to have my keys. I'm going to know that's on a hard drive. I'm good. I got it. As much as that's the case, the average person has so much going on in their life that like they need the backstop. And I might even need it too with all the shit I got going on of like knowing, oh yeah, it's in a bank. The bank's got it. You know what I mean? How do we get around that?
Well, that's what's developing right now. That's why you have Bitcoin Treasury companies. Pretty soon you'll be able to hopefully insure your Bitcoin, right? So if there is, you'd be able to draw it out, even if there is like a pullback in the price. If you want to draw, they have the money to just basically exchange, fiat for your Bitcoin. I think that's coming. I mean, to be fair, I can't fully explain it. I can't. That shit's really complicated. Hey, it's a bunch of nodes that come up with basically proof of work using a ton of electricity. See, I'm already fucking up. What is it? And it's like you build blocks because you get like a consensus between other nodes. Yeah, you can't explain what a node is to a fucking 95-year-old from Italy.
Yeah, it's tough. My little 4'11" grandma, 92-year-old American Italian.
Oh, okay.
She's smart. She always took care of the money for her family. Like she knows her shit, and she wants to learn all this stuff. And still, and she's totally with it. I still get the question like, so how does this Bitcoin thing work again?
Yeah.
And it's tough because like, I'll get that question from a 20-year-old too. That's where like, all right, we gotta find a way to simplify it. And I'm rooting for it, man. Like, I think it'd be awesome because, like you said, you can even read Steven Pinker's books and you don't have to know what the gold standard is. And when you see that chart of like middle class just whittling away for 50 years, what the fuck you think caused that?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm not totally sold on it, actually. I was for a long time, but now I'm like, they got to come up with some use cases.
Yes.
Like they got to figure out how this can be exchanged. So I don't know. Maybe it's just more time, but we'll see. We'll see.
Now we were talking about your come up and like your influences and stuff. What was the biggest movie that influenced you at that time? We got E40 on the music
Paid
side.
in Full. Paid in Full with Cameron and Mekhi Phifer and Wood Harris.
You saw yourself in Cameron.
Yeah. I not as much Cameron. I think I was like Wood Harris. He was like gangly and kind of awkward, and I'm like, that's a guy I could be.
He's
the brain. He's the brain. He's the guy that survived.
Yeah, he was in The Wire too. Wood knows how to play a gangster. He was in Above the Rim with Pac. Like
yes, for sure. He had the best acting career. He was a real actor. The Wire was big. But I think. It's Scarface, but I'm like, okay, I can't be that because there is like, what are we doing here? It's 1982, But hey, maybe it's 1985 in Harlem, Paid in Full. I don't know why Paid in Full made me think, okay, I can do this, But also it was.
Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.